So one of the most common ways I touched on earlier, which is just the awareness of the breath, and paying attention to that in a focused way, and then noticing when the mind wanders and noticing what kind of mind wandering it is. So we're able to see the narrative and understand the kind of thoughts that they are. And maybe we can start to see from that patterns and habits of thinking that can sometimes occupy the mind on a fairly sort of cyclical basis. Mindfulness then allows us that little space to choose how we want to respond to that. Sometimes we just want to take maybe a slightly different attitude towards the thoughts that we see in our mind, which then can really change our experience or the way we relate to our experience and the way we relate to ourselves as well, crucially. But other ways that we can practice it are body awareness, so taking our attention down and becoming aware of the body. And when we do that with focused attention, that's another way of giving the mind something else to do, with curiosity and exploring the body with kindness and being very open to our experience, which means that we start to get more aware of feelings and emotions. Just be very open to our full experience of the now, the present moment. And again, while we're doing that, while we're getting more acquainted with what's going on in the body, it means that we're again getting less caught up as well in some of the automatic nature of mind, where the mind will involuntarily just bring things into our awareness. So we are encouraging the mind to do something more intentional of being in the body. That's another way we can practice it, being mindful through the senses, really tuning into all the senses and just noticing what it is that we feel, we see, we hear, and what we taste as well. We can really be mindful through all of those ways. But also, we can do mindfulness in sort of two different ways. One is formal mindfulness, where we actually sit in a meditation practice of mindfulness, and an informal practice, which is just being mindful in everyday life situations. We can be mindful climbing the stairs. We can be mindful washing the dishes. We can be mindful preparing a meal. We lead with intention to be present and just allow ourselves to experience that through the senses. We can learn quite a lot through that process, and train the mind in a way where it becomes more obedient to our command of where we want it to focus on, rather than it be in control and taking us into all these other places that the mind might want to pull us into. The practice really helps us to become the master again, rather than the mind master us, which is something that a lot of people suffer with.